Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the shocking story of Parker Schnabel. From sharing a couch with a friend to owning a $15 million gold mine. The biography of Parker Schnabel is as follows. A Hollywood screenplay. This mining prodigy had already retrieved over $13 million in gold from the freezing Alaskan wilderness by the age of 24. Today, he drives cars worth more than the typical American home and pays his employees more than most doctors make in a year. Parker's quest, however, is much more complex than what Gold Rush shows viewers. A much deeper tale is revealed by the extravagant Vegas vacations, fancy cars, and personal hardships, including the true cause of his relationship's breakdown. A far more intricate tale of Kajur's inferential journeys. Soracles with her dying safety is prohibited. It changed to fervent routes. The extravagant Vegas vacations, fancy automobiles, and personal hardships, such as the true cause of his relationship's gold rush, come along as we examine the incredible ascent of the youngest mining millionaire on television and learn what makes Parker Schnabel one of the most intriguing success stories on reality TV. Parker's exceptional destiny was made possible by his unusual upbringing. Parker began handling real heavy machinery at his grandfather's mine in Haines, Alaska, at the age of 5, while most kids were still playing with toy trucks. This wasn't fiction. Parker learned firsthand from his grandfather John Schnabel about the Big Nugget Mine, a real gold enterprise. Parker gained abilities that most people never learn in their lifetimes while growing up in a small town of only 1,700 people surrounded by harsh environment. He learned self-reliance and problem-solving skills from the harsh Alaskan climate, which features terrible winters and short summers. You fix things on your own when they broke. In the far border, there was no other option. Parker was learning vital information about managing earth-moving crews and the valuable yellow metal that would eventually make him a wealthy, while his peers concentrated on ordinary children activities. By the time Parker was 16, life presented him with a challenging situation. As his grandfather's condition worsened, John Schnabel died in 2016 at the age of 96. This loss was more than simply an emotional one. It put Parker's youthful shoulders squarely in the middle of the family company. Parker was suddenly in charge of a whole mining operation, whereas most teenagers are preoccupied with homework and relationships. Parker astonished everyone by choosing to invest his whole $663,000 college fund in mining equipment rather than going to college like his colleagues. This wasn't careless adolescent disobedience. It was a strategic business decision that revealed his steadfast faith in his skills and future goals. Television producers initially questioned whether a youngster could successfully manage a mining team, but Parker soon demonstrated that his exceptional talent and tenacity outweighed his youth. Parker's extraordinary skills were demonstrated during his tenure in the Klondike, where he accomplished feats that experienced miners twice his age found difficult. Under circumstances that would shatter most people, Parker and his group retrieved 1,029 of gold, which is worth more than $1.7 million. His exceptional capacity to function well under duress was his secret, not chance. Parker learned how to maximize productivity during the few times when the earth wasn't frozen solid because the mining seasons were restricted by severe weather. He was able to extract more gold than miners with decades of experience thanks to his intimate understanding of the terrain and outstanding management abilities. This was not only remarkable, but it was also unusual for someone so young, making Parker a true phenomenon in the mining industry. Parker's career was defined when, at the age of 28, he paid $15 million to acquire Dominion Creek. According to reports, this property had up to $200 million in gold, but there was a significant danger involved. For 6 years, Parker had to extract 10,000 ounces per season in order to break even. Parker's resolve was put to the test during the early days at Dominion Creek like never before. Equipment malfunctions, frozen ground, and growing expenses threatened to destroy everything he had constructed. Lesser miners would have given up on the project, but Parker faced these difficulties with the cool-headed resolve that had come to define him. He changed tactics after traditional ones failed, investing an extra $540,000 in water pumps to enhance gold recovery. Despite the enormous financial risk associated with each choice, Parker remained committed to long-term success over immediate comfort. Parker had strategic thinking, but his trip eventually entered its darkest phase. Dominion Creek was turning into a financial nightmare by the beginning of 2025. Weather delays, equipment failures, and unforeseen costs caused Parker to incur $2.5 million in debt. With resources running low and creditors phoning, most would have reduced their losses. Parker used a different strategy. He increased his stakes by acquiring 2 more mining claims, Sulphur Creek and Gold Run, for an additional $2.5 million. Although his staff believed he had gone insane, Parker's investment paid off handsomely. Days after starting work at Sulphur Creek, his crew achieved a noteworthy gold strike of 141.650 in just 2 days. This finding gave the operation new vitality and illustrated why Parker had been so successful due to his readiness to take measured risks. Not only was it difficult to move heavy equipment across 25 miles of tough terrain, but many others thought it was impossible. However, Parker's complete procedure was finally spared by his unflinching faith in his judgment. Parker's personal relationships frequently suffered due to the pressures of his career, even if his professional life blossomed. Australian veterinary nurse Ashley Yule, whom Parker met in 2016, immediately became a significant part of his personal life and a source of adoration. After 2 years together, their relationship ended due to Parker's rigorous schedule. In a rare on-camera moment of candor, Parker acknowledged that one of his greatest regrets was not putting Ashley first. After they split up, there were speculations linking Parker to Sheena Cowell, a British television personality, but Parker kept these things confidential. By 2020, Parker's rapport with Tyler Mahoney, an Australian gold prospector on Gold Rush, despite maintaining his professional limits, Parker's trail led to a lot of conjecture. His reticence to talk about his private life underscores the difficulty of striking a balance between privacy and popularity, a conflict that continues to shape his experience in the public eye. By the middle of 2024, Parker's career had reached a turning point when a catastrophe occurred when Gold Rush Season 15 was being filmed. An estimated $2.3 million in potential gold recovery was lost by his enterprise due to a catastrophic equipment breakdown on June 12. Permit problems a few days later resulted in a 17-day shutdown that cost an extra $1.5 million in overhead and output loss. Parker's once large cash reserves had shrunk to only $78,000 by August, hardly enough to keep things running for another week. In a heartbreaking choice that demonstrated the extent of his desperation, Parker pawned his prized 1957 Chevrolet Bear, a priceless antique that had belonged to his grandpa. The $115,000 raised from the auction barely covered payroll and kept the business running. On August 28, with his back against the wall, Parker convened an emergency crew meeting. In an unprecedented gesture, he gave his crew the choice to go without facing consequences, candidly stating that he might not be able to compensate them if they stayed. This instance demonstrated Parker's character as well as the devotion he engendered in others. Despite the uncertainty, 3 important team members, including Mitch Blaschke, decided to remain and labor for 2 weeks without compensation. On September 7, their belief in Parker paid off as the group experienced an incredible pay streak, recovering $1,872 in gold worth almost $3.5 million in a single week. This amazing reversal turned what seemed like an inevitable failure into one of Parker's greatest triumphs and preserved the operation. Despite having an estimated net worth of over $110 million, Parker leads a relatively modest lifestyle in contrast to many young millionaires. Instead of buying Beverly Hills homes or collecting expensive automobiles, Parker has a functional 2,000 square foot house in Alaska with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and a Yukon dwelling. Despite being remarkable, his car collection serves more functional than prestige. For the rough terrain where he works, he has a modified Chevrolet Silverado, a Ford Raptor, a Mercedes-Benz wagon, and a Jeep Wrangler. Parker would rather spend money on experiences than material goods, such as sending his staff on hunting trips, Vegas weekends, or foreign vacation. This choice depicts a man who, in contrast to other television personalities with comparable financial success, prefers relationships and memories over material money. Parker's mining business brought in a record $24 million by the end of Gold Rush Season 14, solidifying his place among the most lucrative reality stars on television. In addition to his mining earnings, Parker receives about $100,000 per Gold Rush episode, which would be sufficient to support an opulent lifestyle if he so chose. Instead, Parker constantly puts the majority of his profits back into his company, emphasizing long-term expansion over short-term satisfaction. He is now among the biggest landowners in the Klondike region thanks to this strategy, and his holdings keep growing every year. As demonstrated throughout his extraordinary adventure, Parker Schnabel's success stems from tremendous perseverance, strategic risk-taking, and an unwavering faith in his idea despite overwhelming challenges rather than from fortunate events or inherited privilege. Parker's tale serves as a reminder that, when compared to skill, bravery, and tenacity, age is just a number, from the 5-year-old youngster running machinery at his grandfather's mine to the mining mogul overseeing a multi-million-dollar company. Parker discovered his destiny early in life and pursued it with undivided focus, whereas most individuals spend their entire lives looking for meaning. What, therefore, is Parker Schnabel's true secret to success? It takes bravery to follow your passion regardless of age or experience. It's not simply about finding gold. It's about being modest even when you succeed and taking measured chances while others play it safe. Parker's story serves as compelling evidence that exceptional accomplishments are achievable at any age with the correct blend of talent, determination, and perseverance as he builds his mining empire in 2025 and beyond. The question is not if Parker will keep discovering gold in the dirt, but rather how much higher this extraordinary young man's star will eventually rise. The true treasure for those who are prepared to put in as much effort as Parker Schnabel may not be found in the earth but rather in what you learn about yourself.